What's up? What's up? State of fandom. If people don't know what that means, that is about the Snyder fandom and topics that pertains to us in entertainment, DC, whatever. It's been a minute. You know, it's like, sometimes you gotta check in. Sometimes, people get busy with their schedule, but we back here again with State of Fandom. Several things that Zack Snyder's been doing. So we're gonna talk about it today. See who's holding it down, see who's not. For sure. I see Mr. J in the chat. Carlos, what's good? Amari, what's going on? Chubby Teddy, what's going on with you? Zack Attack, No Gun and Safra. Hey, whatever's in the news, bro. That's what we do with content. Sil Nation in the chat. Hey, like we say with State of Fandom, antis, they got like 5 seconds to get to the exits. All the fake people, they got 5 seconds. State of Fandom. And right now, the 5 seconds is up. We're going to get started here. What's good again? Stay in the fandom. A couple things in the Zack Snyder news that we want to get across to the fandom. We are live on YouTube. We're getting YouTube back together. All right. So appreciate those that's been rocking with the uploads. I've been uploading some of the coffee talks I do on Twitter and Rumble. So keeping that engagement up. I think everything's gonna be fixed this month. So again, appreciate those that keeps checking. Maria, what's good? New look. I guess it's a new look. We gotta start, man, with a pretty big story again. Stuff that pertains to Snyder fans and DC overall. Keeping an eye. Now I covered this on an earlier stream, so I'm not gonna go through this whole article. This video is available on this platform, on YouTube and Twitter. Mike and Pam. YouTube try to cancel. Yeah, they trying, Maria. They trying to cancel me. This was pretty wild. This story here. And again, I went in depth in that, but just the thing to point out that this is no longer about if Comcast is going to buy Warner Brothers. So let's actually just kind of briefly define this real quick. This is about heads of Warner Brothers. What is Zazzov going to do? Likely he's not going to retain Mike DeLuca, Pam Abdy. All right. The writing's on the wall this spring. We're starting with Mickey 17, where they're spending too much money, but not going to get a lot of return. It's going to fall on them, unfortunately. Then you have the Superman film, which is not really going to be a Mike and Pam thing. It's more James Gunn and his legacy is what that is. So, but the main thing to grasp from this is Zazzov likely will not retain DeLuca Abdy. Their contract runs out next summer. I don't expect them to get an extension. Now, people want to blame a lot of marketing and stuff regarding them with Warner Brothers, but they were just kind of caught in the middle of a weird transition. Zazzov couldn't make up his mind. The vision of the company. He wants to sell, then he doesn't want to sell. It's just all over the place. Now, with that said, and let me make it clear with this marketing situation, because earlier, I think a few people got confused what I was saying, but the old marketing team that did Barbie, was it Jeff Goldstein? He was let go before this latest Superman marketing push, right? So they got rid of the Barbie guy who made that an international hit, and they replaced him by basically someone lesser than. And they started doing the Superman marketing. And you saw it was kind of hit or miss. Superman, like I think the first teaser trailer was good. This was the team after they fired the Barbie guy. They put out that teaser of the teaser trailer. And then you had the eye gate situation, right? Then you had some of the weird TV spots, the puppy bowl pump fake, all those things. That was on the new team. All right. Then, so I'm just giving you the timeline. Barbie guy fired. Then you get the teaser trailer, and then the weird eye stuff going on with the new team. And then once that was put out in public that, hey, the marketing is Abdy's fault, DeLuca's fault. Safran commented on it. Then they got special consultants to help with marketing. And that's when Gunn posted this. They were rebooting the marketing. Now, as I said earlier, kind of an odd place to start, but okay. The new trailer under this new consultant team likely will come out April 1st, CinemaCon, right? So they're rebooting the marketing. They got someone particular to Superman because it's make or break. Too good for WBD. And yeah, and that's one thing I want to make clear too. They established a lot of good relationships in Hollywood. No matter what happens to them, I think they're going to land on their feet. And and it just likely won't be with Warner Brothers the way that it's looking. He must not like Gunn and Safran because judge off that eye gate, right? So I just want to make clear that timeline. And like I said, it's all about CinemaCon and beyond for this team. And that is what it is. I mean, again, Mike and Pam, as we talked about, Full Circle wouldn't have happened without them. I directly asked Zach and Debbie as far as them working with Mike and Pam more, and they seem optimistic. And then you have all this happening this year with DeLuca and Abby. So definitely, I always looked at them as allies. They did sign off on that last Friday project. So I mean, they know what the people want. They're pretty good giving the people what they want, and that would be their legacy to me if they're not extended before next year. These execs, when they enter that final year of the contract, that's a lame duck year, meaning they're probably not coming back. That's what happened to Hamada and Emmerich. So that is what it is. We will see how that all comes together with that. But again, check my full coverage of this article and this situation. I got it up on this channel, or if you're on Twitter, go to my profile page under highlights. You'll see that full stream. Either way. So we got that out the way. Pivoting back to a little Zack Snyder news. Just out of the blue, just chilling. And then, usually if Zack Snyder posts something, he'll post it on Vero, and then people pick up on it and it does its thing. Zack Snyder comes to Twitter and drops something here. Let me move this out the way. Just real simple tweet. Cool stuff. Classic Zack Snyder. Oh, so cool, Zack Snyder. You see the post there, that article. Just a simple tweet, right? It just triggered so many people at the same time. And then, of course, me, I don't mind going extra with it. I put like, oh, look at this epic tweet by Zack Snyder. Oh, they really got mad. they really got mad at that. I was like, dang, is that deep? Hey, it is that deep. I think we know by now how deep this goes. And so this article they posted is from comicbook.com saying the Man of Steel teaser trailer still one of the DC's best. And let's put that. It's the article that he posted. I mean, that's just the influence of Zack Snyder. Like, people just have to realize, Zack Snyder always moves the needle. That's why I didn't blame James Gunn wanting to, use a little Zack crack to post that picture with Zack, because he knows it would do numbers. So Man of Steel teaser trailer, still one of DC's best ever. That just is what it is, man. It's nothing for people to feel defensive over, to feel threatened. It just is what it is. First teaser remains one of the all-time greatest. Someone mentioned Brad Curran, big Zack Snyder fan. Massive and minimalist. Now, one thing I'll say, because I think this is where just maybe it's a matter of preference, or we just gotten used to how film looked the last 20 years or so, or 15 years. And, the muted colors. And then you have James Gunn. He comes out with, something that probably looks a little more colorful, right? And it's like your eyes have to kind of adjust to it. So we'll see the final product of that. But with Zack Snyder, like, to use, like I said, just that particular color palette made it easier to use CGI and things like that, and to have that minimalist realism is what Man of Steel was. I always talk about, I remember opening day, went to go see Man of Steel in the afternoon. It wasn't really a full theater. And that opening Krypton sequence just changed the entire game. Like, just because, those, everyone thinks of Matrix and stuff like that. And, just stuff within that past, decade or two. Zack was remixing everything and doing it his way. And it's still nothing. I don't see, they should never do another Krypton sequence ever again if it's not going to come close to Man of Steel with Russell Crowe and the crew. They hate the fact that Zack Snyder Superman is the coolest live action version. It just is. I mean, and I've said this. Now, most people that hasn't crashed out and they forgot how I roll. I'm a lifelong DC fan, so I'm going to check out everything. If I got to roast it, I'm going to roast it. If it's things I like about it, I'll talk about it. This James Gunn Superman film, I don't see it matching Man of Steel as far as, box office and things like that. It has to kind of create its own path. So just a comparison, like, it's not a fair comparison, in my opinion. I think James Gunn Superman is a $600 million film. If the audience score, because I know the critics are going to like it. Critics are going to like a James Gunn film. And if the audience is rocking with it, then that'll take it to another level. That's just is what it is. But that's going to be its own thing. We're going to appreciate, what's been given before with Zack Snyder. So I see Fernando in the chat. What's good? So some other things. He's going to talk about the different influences with this film. It holds up so well. I mean, it doesn't even feel like it's been, 13 years, 12 years. Doesn't even feel like it. Critics check is pending right now. Doesn't even feel like it's been that long. You pop it in now. I don't think I got this on Blu-ray. This did come on Blu-ray, didn't it? I know I got it has to be on Blu-ray. The 4K, I mean. Is this on 4K? Anybody got Man of Steel on 4K? I don't know if is that even available. Let's see, Man of Steel 4K. Yeah, I gotta get that on. I don't have this on 4K. 4K HD UHD HDR. So I gotta upgrade my Man of Steel. I just got a little Blu-ray. Got a little floppy Blu-ray. You gotta have all Zack Snyder stuff on 4K. If you know, you know. Man of Steel's teaser set an epic tone for Zack Snyder's Superman. I mean, that Man of Steel film, after you get past the Krypton stuff, Cavill sells it instantly that he's Superman, right? And then you get to the first flight. First flight was when you first experienced that first flight, and then I was able to experience that at full circle as well on the big screen. Once again, and that's when you knew this was like an epic film. It's like you got to that first flight, I was like, okay, this is probably the best Superman film ever, and that's before the Smallville fights, right? Because once you get to the Smallville fight, and he goes, and he's like, trying to threaten my mother, that part, I was like, oh, this is the best Superman film ever. Had everything. And definitely the action that is sorely needed. Zack Snyder was the right person for that. Epic tone. And then we know the story after that. Depending on who you ask, Warner Brothers obviously wanted Batman involved with the sequel. And Zack, being a nice guy, he acquiesced. You ask Zack, he'll say, if you ask him whose idea was it to, throw Batman and, make BVS immediately, Zack will say it was his idea. But we know Warner Brothers wanted to fast track. We know that. So technically we haven't had a Superman film since Man of Steel. We're not going to argue is BVS Man of Steel 2, is that the Man of Steel sequel, stuff like that. 5-part arc. We know what Zack was setting up to set up that quintessential Superman and to show, he feels the biggest battle Superman can have, that's Superman versus Darkseid, right? So we know how this story went, but a good thing is we can always revisit the Man of Steel, and it's on Max. It's on Max as well. So yeah, whether you like this new James Gunn Superman or not, I don't think it's even about choosing. I mean, if you ain't rocking with it, you're not rocking with it. But it's really no comparison. There's no reason to compare the two. Man of Steel is in its own lane that I don't see any I don't see anyone approaching superheroes like Zack Snyder, to be quite honest with you. But that is what it is. But great stuff there on comicbook.com. Good to see, it's not all about clickbait and trying to gaslight Snyder fans and things like that. How do you feel about DC going from McFarlane back to Mattel? Oh, yeah, just all about the contract. I think McFarlane, and I think it's just for like the kind of like the action figures. I think like the big figurines, I think McFarlane's still going to do some of those, but yeah, it's just about, the costs of producing. I think Mattel is going to really flood the market with DC figures. Again, more of the action figure size. And Mattel's huge. So as far as for this is good for DC for sure, just as the brand itself. So good stuff with that. And again, Zack letting them know that it's cool stuff. Now, one thing I guess kind of connected to this whole, what DC's trying to do now and things like that. And you do see them kind of lowering the expectations just a little bit. Like I shared this on Twitter there. Let's see. I just want everybody to keep the same energy. That's all. Just let's keep the same energy. Because in 2016, we'll really start in 2013. There's a lot of online vitriol for Man of Steel. And then obviously BVS, we know those stories. Even just within the past month or two, people still trying to come up with, how much did it profit? BVS, this film is nearly 10 years. And people still trying to bring up the financials for BVS. When producers attached to the film and Zack himself said they made a lot of money with BVS, theatrically, home video, toys, everything, digital. So why is this continually being brought up when Zack and Silverman, one of the producers, clearly say they made a lot of money? So that's on one hand. And then now you have this Warner Brothers film, Mickey 17, cost nearly 120 million production, another 80 marketing. I don't know where that marketing dollars is really going. Just saying. So over about 200 million they put into this film, production and marketing. It opened 19 million domestically. And I emphasize that 19 million. When you talk about box office, theatrical, as far as theatrical, domestic box office is number one in the world. You want to hit at home first. Then the second best theatrical box office take is China. So of 53 million worldwide, only 19 domestically, and the rest is kind of spread it out. I think Japan, it did decent. This isn't good. This isn't a good opening. On top of that, cinema score was below a B+. Though it's a rated R film, it's ways to fudge that when it's rated R, because that means it may be some disturbing things in a rated R film. So some audiences, they may have a weak stomach or something, or and they may not like it. But it had a low score. So R-rated films or any film, if your cinema score is under B+, you better have a pretty good, front-loaded opening. And this didn't. So it failed all the tests. This is going to be a flop, unfortunately. I haven't seen it yet, but I do want to see this by Bong Joon-ho, the director of Parasite. Mars says, I like seeing Pattinson play against himself. Shame about the box office. Yeah, I mean, it'll probably end up being like a cult classic or something. I still plan on seeing it personally. But the point of me bringing this up is, yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't cheer for any film to fail. I know everybody ain't like that. I don't cheer for films to fail. But if it's trash, it's trash. But I think this is probably going to be a decent niche film when I see it. But as you see, and I'm not trying to pick on this person, and I really probably should have blotted their name out. So it's not going at this, but I don't even know who this person is. I just saw the screenshot. But they was like, who cares? The movie got made. None of us here are shareholders. I thought everyone on Twitter was shareholders going after Man of Steel and BVS. So now everyone's not shareholders. Just a month or two ago, someone pulled up an old article. I ain't trying to throw one under the bus right now, but Robert Meyer Burnett, he pulled out an old article. It was like, here, this is why BVS lost money. So I'm just saying, but now we're not shareholders. I just want everybody to keep that same energy, because when James Gunn Superman comes out, and if it's a $600 million film, just stand on it. That's all. No excuses. No, I'm rebooting. No. Right now, according to that DeLuca Abdy article I started off with, it's basically quoted that the fate of WB's 2025 success is on Superman, James Gunn's Superman. Imagine if that was said in 2016, the fate of Warner Brothers' theatrical success of 2016 rests on BVS. You think they'll take those numbers now? What do you think? You think they'll take the BVS numbers right now? So again, it's about, I'm knocking stuff over. It's about keeping that same energy. That's the point. So it's no, who cares? It's no, it's not about that anymore. This is the reality. Panic at WB. Man, if they were saying Man of Steel 2, the fate of this year's theatrical success is on Man of Steel 2 starting Henry Cavill, how comfortable do you think they would feel with that? Despite what people even feel, despite people that say they don't even like Zack Snyder, they know Henry Cavill worked as Superman. They just say, oh, I just wish he was more hopeful. Everyone will be lining up. So that's all. It's just they did kind of put themselves in this situation. Now, I understand they're trying to just build out the DC. They're trying to kind of start from ground zero. The fandom that's going to rock with it will rock with it. Those that won't, it won't. But they're going to see their true fan base. They're going to see the true fan base. And then that's when, after this first wave of James Gunn's DCU, you're going to get an idea. They're going to say, okay, is DC viable for us, or should we get up from under it as a brand? They can get a couple billion. That's why I said on the offset, it's not about, okay, is Comcast going to buy it now? Comcast kicked the tires. I followed this story since 2021. Comcast kicked the tires on Warner Brothers, and they backed up on it. So now it's about James Gunn. He's getting his first wave of DC, so that's going to be up to the Supergirl and Clayface next summer. And that's when they're going to determine, okay, should we put DC on the market? That's when everybody needs to go get their DC shares, like for real. So we're still a year or two away from that conversation, but that's the timeline. I know people are looking like, okay, if Superman fails, that's it for DCU. Not necessarily. It'll be tough for WB for this year, but see, Gunn has insulated himself. He's not just coming out with Superman. He got Peacemaker in the shoot. They're shooting Lanterns right now. As I mentioned, Supergirl. They're going to film Clayface this summer. So he's going to get away with, okay, you got to wait till next year to determine. And it's just the proof will be in the numbers. That's all it comes down to. Let's catch up with the chat here, and then we're going to get our guest up here in just a second too. State of the Phantom. So I had to bring some backup for this as well. Well, let's see what y'all saying in the chat real quick. Let's see. Steven says, do you think we get the trailer for Superman at CinemaCon? Yeah, I'm expecting April 1st. Reportedly, they want to go pretty big for DC at CinemaCon. That means Superman and probably a little Supergirl as well. So see, Flick Picks, Zach mentioned Batman being mentioned at the end of Man of Steel 2 or being teased. WB liked the idea so much they told him to put him in the movie. Yeah, Warner Brothers fast-tracked Batman, and we get it. And Zach will never, fully admit that, because he's always being nice about it, but he still made BVS out of that, you know what I mean? Which is amazing. So let's see here. Panicking, planning to reboot Mickey 17. And if you caught my stream earlier, there's an additional cut of Mickey 17. So I'm calling it Mickey 18. And supposedly it tested better. So you got Warner Brothers again with a better cut unreleased. Again. They cannot get away from their own selves, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that is what it is. Let's see here. Bank on ongoing rising success of Batman. They paused and decided to reboot, start a new genius move. Well, you're still getting the Reeves Batman. Just Reeves, first off, Reeves he's a notoriously slow writer, and then on top of that, he has some personal stuff going on. So that's what that was. I know it looks like all guns, like, you know, holding them back, but the stockholders would not allow a Batman movie to be delayed, especially what Reeves did with the first film. It was successful, nearly 800 million. The Penguin series is winning Emmys. You don't hold that film back, and I don't believe that theory that Gunn is holding it back. The stockholders would choke him out if he really was doing that. So yes, I don't buy that one right there. But anyway, let's get our guest on here for State of the Fandom. Long time friend of the channel and homie, Mr. Wes Ashley. Let's get him up on here. What's good, bro?
What's going on, homie?
Hey, man, nothing much. You know, we had to put, you know, another stream out here. Let people know we watching what's going on, you know, with the fandom.
Hell yeah.
So,
Hell
man,
yeah.
Did you catch any of this stuff earlier today? I'm gonna throw this up real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. Where basically Warner Brothers, Zazzov, may get rid of the DeLuca and Abdi, the heads of Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
yeah. You caught wind of that?
Yeah, I did. I saw a little bit of it. He's trying to replace them with Saffron or something, or he's leaning more. I don't know, man. I think wasn't that the last two that we really liked over there, man?
You know? Those are ones that been working with Zach. You know what I'm saying? With the full circle,
right.
And all that. And yeah, the rumor is Saffron, bro. Yeah.
Oh man. Yo, is it like? Are they meaning to fail, bro? Is it like? Are they destroying this company on purpose? I mean, you know, a lot of us has thought that for a long time. It's like because you know Disney's trying to eat up everything, so eventually they're definitely gonna want Warner Brothers, and if they could kill the company and you know put it into a lot of you know smaller companies that Disney can eventually eat up, it seems like that's what's going on. It doesn't seem like they're doing anything positive. Yo, I was watching Aaron today, and he was like talking about how you know the stock price went way up when Zack Snyder released the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then you know right after that they had Superman and Black Adam, so it looked like they could continue Zack Snyder's universe, and they would probably be making so much money right now, but they chose to do the exact opposite, destroy like the fan base, and nothing that James Gunn did has been successful, you know, but they rolled with it. And it's like they made, he said something in there when James Gunn was like, he had a quote saying he hates superheroes or something like that, or superheroes are, you know, he was like, he said, yeah, superheroes are stupid. Aaron made a good like analogy. He was like, that's like hiring a dude who goes on the internet and say, yo, I hate Walmart. Walmart is the dumbest grocery store in the world. And then 3 years later, you hire them as your CEO. It's like they made that decision. And it's like they can't, bro, their stock price hasn't been doing nothing, bro, for like, what, 2 or 3 years now? It hasn't really did anything.
And you're a stockholder too, right?
Yeah, I got shares in that company, bro. And it's like, it's always, you know, sometimes it goes to 9, sometimes it goes to 10. The other day it was close to 11, but, you know, it just goes down. It's usually always in the red. And sometimes you kind of like that because you can buy more stocks for cheap, and you could, you know, you kind of see their little plan. Like they'll do a lot of dumb shit on purpose and have what I call like a fire sale. And then you buy a lot of stocks, and then something happens where the stock just goes through the roof, and you made so much money off of buying clearance item stocks, but their stock hasn't went through the roof. They keep dropping news, and nothing's hitting, bro. It's like I don't know if they're meaning to do this or they're just that stupid. But I can't see they're that stupid. You know, I don't know, man.
Man, I mean, definitely as far as with the Safran angle, let's say if they want him to take over, if this DC doesn't hit, Safran ain't getting that job. You know, because DeLuca, their contract goes to next summer, and so you can't reward Safran unless something hits. So, but Zaslav is kind of blaming, like you mentioned, the stocks and stuff, and how things ain't really, you know, rising. Zaslav is putting that blame on DeLuca and Abby, like, you know, they got to get these films together. He's blaming that Joker 2 film on them, you know, all that, you know, all the bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's crazy. They kind of just in the wrong place at the wrong time, to be quite honest. But we'll see how they, you know, how they bounce from there, and we'll see this next wave of Warner Brothers films, and if they keep failing, like this Mickey 17. I just had that up there. I don't know. You hear anything about this film?
No, I've been seeing the commercials. I kind of want to see it. The commercials look weird enough for me to want to watch it, but what is it doing? Is bombing or what's going on?
It's bombing. Like they spent 120 million on it. It only made about 20 million domestically, which is terrible. And again, Zaslav is blaming, you know, DeLuca and Abby. Now, I put this picture up here because again, it's not to go with this person, this user. Again, I don't know who this is. I just had the screenshot, but you got this Warner Brothers films failing, and they're like, who cares? You know, none of us are shareholders. But someone just last month was arguing with me. Well, you are. So last month was just arguing with me about BVS not making enough money. So I want them to keep that same energy. If you are talking about, Zach's supposed to make this much money, which he did, BVS made over billions of dollars.
Right.
When you collect
he did great.
So keep that same energy with these other people. Ain't no who cares? You shouldn't care about that. It's like, no, this isn't good. And hey, like I said, I know I'm like one of the fair people with DC. Like I'm gonna check out everything. But if Superman fails, bro, it's gonna be in real time. I mean, you can't hide from that.
I'm a love that, bro. I mean, Gunn, he gotta have a smash hit, bro. I don't think like last time we talked about like 500 million. I don't think 500, 600 million is gonna do it, bro. This is they've been having some bad press, dog. Homie got to hit like $1 billion or something, bro, because you know the press is just being horrible. Like Creature Commandos didn't do anything. I haven't heard anything special about Peacemaker. His Suicide Squad sucked. I don't know what can. Yeah, like he ain't do shit yet, bro. Homeboy got to knock it out the park with this Superman movie, and it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. And then, you know, like every other week they say they need more reshoots. That just the latest round of reshoots, they said Superman wasn't even in the movie that much. You know, they were saying like, oh, we need more reshoots to add Superman, or there's too many other characters to focus on, or blah, blah, blah. Like, these reshoots cost as well, you know? Like, how much is he up to? Like, what is he at? Like 400 million or what? I don't even know the number anymore.
Well, I don't think he hit 4 yet, but I know there's different reports out there. I'm sure he's definitely 250 or more at this point. I just had a recent report. You know, I got my Superman channel that's, you know, I gotta feed different lanes out here, and that's actually been doing pretty well. The other channel, and I did my report. I heard about the test screenings, right? And in that test screening, they were just like, you know, Corn Sweat, he's kind of lost in the sauce, is what they said. Like it is like too much going on around him. Now that was the first test screening.
Right.
I believe Gunn will fix that, but that is a valid concern, Peely, that is too much going on in the film for it to be a Superman story.
Right. And it's yo, do you really think like Gunn's ego is just crazy? How he thinks he can take like a smaller character and elevate them to success? You know, like maybe it's his ego. Maybe this not the right dude, or you know, I don't know, man. There's no way you can fail this much and keep getting promoted. How does that happen, dog? Like, the obvious, bro. Zack Snyder's stuff would have been over by now, right? Or it would have been close to
Oh yeah.
how the Superman
Oh
movie
yeah.
with less
Well,
Superman scenes than
e-
side characters.
even
Yeah,
even like let's say Zach. Obviously, the original timeline with Zach, he would have already been done with the 5-part arc. They would have flashpointed it probably like 3 years ago, right? So we already been done. You could have did your reboot then, with Patterson, and you could have did whatever you wanted. And but then let's take it where Cavill came back for Black Adam. If we just start that as a marker, you would have had the Justice League 2 since 2022. You could have had Justice League 2 already done, Wonder Woman 3, again that's Snyderverse Wonder Woman, and Man of Steel 2. You could have all these films already out right now. So Gunn could have still started his reboot this year, and Zach would have been done. So
and they would have made so much money. They would have made so much money, dog. Like, it's a super fumble. And then you got Gunn, taking pictures with Zach, trying to show like, oh, me and Zach are so cool, like, bro, you fucked up everything, bro. Like, Warner Brothers used to be so great, dog. Like, their movies were so legendary, dog. They come with like some of the best movies I've ever seen are Warner Brothers movies, but now they're just like, I don't know if they're not trying because Disney is just too big, or I don't know. All right, you know this stuff more than me. If they sell, who's in line to buy right now? Is it Comcast or who?
Comcast already looked at potentially buying Warner Brothers, and they basically, like I said, they kind of kicked the tires, and it was like, we ain't buying all this at one. Y'all could break it up. Put like your TV over here, your streaming here. Then Comcast could revisit that. If this first wave of DC doesn't work, the next plan, I mean, Warner Brothers may still sell in pieces, but they would sell DC, bro. Like, they would put DC on the market. And I was saying that before. I was like, that's when like everyone should buy DC shares. If they put that public, man, like, you better get on those DC shares, bro, because like that's a once in a lifetime thing right there. And so that's really where the conversation is now. It's about selling DC, which it didn't seem possible 3 years ago, but now it's like, yeah, it's a real, business journals are talking about it now, saying, yeah, they if the Superman underperforms, then you got Supergirl next year, and it ain't really vibing next summer, it's time to sell DC. That's where we're at right now.
Wow. So then that brings in Disney, you think, maybe?
Oh, Disney was swoop so hard on buying DC. They already want to do the crossover. You know what I'm saying? They're doing comic books together again. So yeah, for sure. So yeah, I had this. I posted this the other day. Not this one. Let's see. I posted something the other day where people was like, will they buy? Will they sell? What will go on with Warner Brothers? And that's what I was saying the other day. Zaz have already considered spinning off, or selling basically Warner Brothers in pieces, even to the Saudis, right? And we have a connection to that story because, Zach and UFC, we'll talk about that in a second. But I was saying, do not rule out DC being available. Like, again, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, probably even last year, I wouldn't have, it would be no way I would say, oh, DC can be up for sale. But now that is a real thing. Just like Comcast was real, it's just Warner Brothers is so messed up. They was like, we ain't buying that, bro. We ain't buying all that,
Wow.
In pieces. Yeah. DC can be a real thing, bro, for sale.
In pieces. All right, you got DC. You got like Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny. Mm-hmm. You got their TV shit like Discovery, and then you got like Matrix and Lord of the Rings. Bro,
yeah, they can look at IPs. Yeah.
If DC goes to Disney, then it would be like, then it would all make sense, right? It would all make sense since 2013.
It's funny because
it will all make sense.
Disney tried to buy Warner Brothers outright before they bought Fox, right? And that was something that was like years ago was talked about. So the interest is there. Like, Disney would love to get DC. And if it comes up for sale, bro, like I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked at all if they grab it. I mean, that'd be the most likable person, likely person.
Yeah. That would be the number one prospect, definitely. So then it would all make sense that you could go destroy a company from the inside and come from Disney to do it, and then get Disney to buy it. And then now you reap the reward of having all of DC Comics, you know what I mean, attached with your Marvel MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Then it will make sense why they do so much dumb shit. Then it will make sense, like, oh, you were just destroying this so Disney can buy it. This was a whole plan that I have been telling people since 2013, bro. I have been saying this, dog. There's no way you just sit Zack Snyder, you piss off Christopher Nolan, you mess up Matt Reeves, you know, you keep putting Matt Reeves on the back burner, and then you let James Gunn go, who James Gunn has done nothing special. You let him do whatever he wants. The only way that makes sense is if you're trying to sabotage DC for Disney purposes. That's the only reason that makes sense. That's the only reason Zack Snyder got fired, is because with Zack Snyder in DC, he would be bigger than the MCU. DC's MCU would be in second place compared to Justice League 2 and 3, right? So if we got a 10-year plan, if we got a 15-year plan, all right, yo, like when they're trying to tank, they'll sit Joel Embiid or they'll sit their best players. You know what I mean? So they can go get Cooper Flag. You know what I mean? That's what they did. That's what they did. They set Zack Snyder. They were like, yo, we got, bro, Disney is going to offer us, you know, super billions of dollars. And remember Star Wars guy, what's his name? Lucas. Remember he was so serious about he'll never sell. And then Disney offered that $8 billion, and that bitch was out of there, bro. He was out of there. Quit.
He's like, here, take my scripts as well, too. I'm out. Do whatever you want. I don't care about these characters no more.
Do whatever you want, dog. Do whatever you want. Bro, that money talks, bro. That money talks, dog.
We got Ricky Jones here. They're saying Disney buying DC WB makes 0 sense. Warner Bros. Overall, I don't see Disney buying, but if DC is available, you know, separately, Disney would absorb that with the quickness, man.
Hell yeah, Disney want everybody. Disney still owns TV rights to Batman, bro, and they're not letting them go. You know, because there's some kind of contingency with ABC owning rights and Disney owns them. So yes, it makes a lot of sense. There's no 0 sense. There's 100% sense to Disney wanting DC. Especially if they can do crossovers. And then they're doing them in the comic books. And, if they pull it on TV, it just makes all the sense. Zack Snyder didn't make his movies colorful and MCU-like. And Joss Whedon did. Zack Snyder was too deep. James Gunn wasn't, you know? Plus, now that it's all like, you know, Disney is like so woke and, you know, political and blah, blah, blah. It makes 100% sense to me, dog. It makes 100% sense to me.
Especially when they had that interest before. So, I mean, the sense is right there that they've actually explored this before they even bought the X-Men and everyone back. They explored getting DC first. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real thing. That's a real thing with that. And that's why, you know, I know like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it was about, okay, Comcast, you know, NBC Universal is the play. And I'm just reminding people like, that time came and they were like, no, we good. Because I mean, that conversation was going to happen and they had that conversation. So that's not really the move now. Now it's about, you know, will DC be up for sale? And I'm saying that's a real thing. That's definitely a real thing right there. So interesting with that. Now, as far as with Zack Snyder, because we got a few other news bits here, I want to get your thoughts on. But
All right.
anytime Zach posts, man, like he does numbers no matter what, bro. He just tweeted out this simple tweet, cool stuff. Put the article up there that Man of Steel is still the one of the best DC trailers ever. And the internet just went crazy, bro. Like people just was losing their mind. Like, oh, Zach always trying to fan the flames. It's like, no, Zach is like, yo, like, okay, well, what does this say to you? They keep telling us Zach is done. He'll never do DC again. I keep saying, I 100% believe Zach will do DC again. We gotta find out what form of fashion that is. You know what I'm saying? So, but people keep wanting to tell me every day, like, "Oh, you just a cultist, and he'll never do it again." He's done with DC, right? Zach's moved on. You remember they said that like a year or two ago. Zach's moved on.
Hell yeah,
and then he posts some DC stuff. What does that tell you, Peely? That Zach he keeps speaking on DC,
bruh. And you've been in this battle with me for the same amount of years. You remember when they say, oh, the Snyder Cut don't even exist. Remember they was telling us that shit.
Pipe dream.
Then they were like, right, oh, that's a pipe dream. This movie, there's no way he filmed that. And then they were like, oh, there's no way, you'll never get the Snyder Cut. They were saying all these stuff.
Ever.
So now they say, oh, the Snyderverse is dead. Oh, Zack Snyder will never come back to DC. Blah, blah, blah. So then now James Gunn has Zack Snyder in the meeting room, at Warner Brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's right there, bro. He is right there.
Like
everything
inside Warner Brothers.
Yeah, he's literally in there. This fool drinking at the water fountain, eating in the lunchroom. Like, bro, it's Zack Snyder, dog. It's Zack Snyder. He's like, all right, Christopher Nolan is the man director right now. You got these top tier director, Cameron, Nolan, Ridley Scott, but the superhero shit, as long as this superhero genre is being pumped out, Zack Snyder is the king of that. You know what I mean? He's the man of that. The best superhero movie, I don't want to hear nothing about no Endgame or none of that crap, Infinity War. It's Zack Snyder has like 3 out of the top 5. Watchmen, Batman vs. Superman, and Snyder Cut. Whenever he wants to post anything, and people can say Man of Steel too. A lot of people say Man of Steel was the best Superman movie they've ever seen. So they can't get rid of Zack Snyder. They just should let him finish his shit. That's the only way to get rid of him. Because until then, Zack Snyder gonna be like 98, and there's people gonna be like, "Oh, release the Snyder Cut," like, people get mad, and like you said in the chat room, they just get triggered with the name Zack Snyder, and I see it a lot, like on Facebook and these little like comic chats or. I be triggering them boys on purpose, dog. There's nothing like they can, they talk about it's a comic book room or, this is comic and movie news, but literally all they talk about is Zack Snyder. They hate post about Zack Snyder and all of his, like who can win, Ben Affleck or Robert or Pattinson, and then it's like 30,000 talking about, oh, Ben Affleck sucks, fucking Zack Snyder sucks, Batman vs. Superman sucks. But that's all they talk about. I'm like, bro, Marvel had like 50 comic book movies, like there's been so many other comic book stuff, movies that you can talk about, but all you talk about is Zack Snyder. And every comic book chat, either on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever, anything on social media, Zack Snyder is the only topic, bro. He's like 90% of the topic. So the only way you can get done with Zack Snyder topics is just let him finish and go away and do something else. Until that happens, Zack Snyder controls the comic book genre. So that fool can post whatever he wants. Whenever these people start talking about, oh, the Snyderverse is dead, the Snyderverse is dead, but then James Gunn got a picture with that fool clout chasing just like a month ago. You know what I mean? Like, your guy, James Gunn, is clout chasing, and the Snyderverse is supposed to be dead. Everything was not supposed to happen, and here it in Warner Brothers talking some DC shit probably right now. You know,
in
I love
the
it, dog. I
building.
love it.
And that's
In
the
the
point with
building.
that. Like, we didn't know as far as like, okay, the gun side, it felt like it was, he was trying to get some clout because internet moves when Zack does anything. So you post a picture with Zack, and
Hell
you
yeah.
in Warner Brothers,
Hell
right?
yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's gonna do numbers. But then the like you said, that just a quite literal thing. He was in Warner Brothers, like it's a win.
Right.
Like,
Right.
he's right there. So he's doing that 300 prequel. But don't think Zack just came back just do some 300 prequel. Like he's
I
eyeing
agree.
DC. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. He's 100% eyeing DC. Think about it. What he's already mentioned. He's mentioned Dark Knight Returns, but Dark Knight Returns was quite literally like it'll be like a sequel to BVS. You know what I mean? There was so much similarities in BVS and Dark Knight Returns. The mech suit, or even when let's say he does Dark Knight Returns, which I really think he's gonna do. And Ben Affleck beat up Superman, and then right after he electrocutes him, he's like, "Yo, remember, I'm the only dude that beat you." He beat him in BVS, bro. And Zack Snyder, he did come out a long time ago and said there's like 3 more or maybe 3 fights in total with Ben Affleck and Superman, and Ben Affleck gets the first round. So I firmly believe that Dark Knight Returns is coming. I firmly believe, and a part of this I wanted to say also, a part of this like fear mongering, the DC is going to be over if Superman don't succeed. That could be kind of like some market employ to make people rush out to make Superman succeed. But I don't think the DC, maybe the DCU would be over, but your replacement is already in the building, bro. Zack Snyder DCEU would be quickly brought back up if this sale to Disney doesn't, but I don't know if Zack Snyder can really.
That's interesting what you just said, Peely, and it's not even that big of a conspiracy. What you say, usually Peely would go, with that, but like in reality, this could be some counter programming where, hey, the Superman film's in trouble, guys. If you want to see Superman movies, you gotta support this. And I've seen feedback already. People like, man, they're like, I really wasn't even rocking with Gunn, but I don't want Superman to fail because that's a big character, man. So DC fans. So there could be like just a little ploy right there. They're like, hey, Superman's in trouble, guys. Everyone gotta like in what was that Chris Rock film, Head of State, when he ran for president to be the first black president. It did.
Yeah,
in the polls, right? And they announced, they said, we real close to having our first black president. And then they showed outside all the white people running to the polls. And that's kind of what they do. It like, Superman's gonna be in trouble.
That's what it is, dog.
They're gonna run and get their tickets, bro. That's
what it is. Fear makes you a consumer first. Once you get scared, you gotta go prep. You gotta buy your guns, your food, and all that. Fear does it. If they put out, this could be the last Superman movie, blah blah blah. DCU might be over, but maybe. I think maybe there could be like a little market employ that gets people to run to the theaters to try to save this shit. Because, bro, like you say, when he was like first black president and all the white people ran, or what. Every time a storm get named in the ocean, like a hurricane, all the tissue and water gets sold out that day. You know what I mean? Or when they say they're gonna ban assault rifles, then assault rifle sales go through the roof. It's always marketing like that. So you got to look at it at a kind of like a double-edged sword. But at the same time, I want James Gunn to fail, bro. I'm not watching this shit. And every time somebody get me on their podcast, I'm gonna talk shit about it. I mean, I'm not watching it. I want it to fail. I hope Zack Snyder gets restored. And if him failing is any inch closer to Zack Snyder getting restored, then I'm shit talking this movie until the day it comes out, bro. You know,
the proof gonna be in the numbers. I mean, and that's it's a tall task, man. Man of Steel, it's gonna be hard to match that, man. If people being real.
Right.
So, one more news item to bring up here. Get your take on.
Right.
Again, when Zach posts, things go crazy. But then when someone we saw when someone else posts Zach, those posts go crazy too. So we know the James Gunn thing. Then we over here. Let's see. Let's get the Saudis here. Turkey, Al-Sheikh, the successful. He's like a billionaire or a trillionaire over there.
Yeah.
He does business with UFC all the time. You know, Dana White and the crew.
Yeah.
Now we heard about the UFC film that, and I even heard they were plotting out. They're going to shoot some of that film over in Saudi Arabia too, on site. But they also going to find other areas. So that's the latest I heard with that. That film is going to happen. So we already knew about this film and that he's going to be fronting a lot of money for it. We got to see what film studio will pick it up. Maybe Universal. Maybe that's when Universal will get in the Zack Snyder business to get this film distributed. And Warner Brothers may step up too. But Turkey Al-Sheikh is saying here, again, with this great director, Zack Snyder, this just for last week he posted this. Said a big surprise soon. All the world will talk about it. Then he got the little film emojis. Now we already know about the UFC film,
right?
I think it's more to this, bro. Like again, the dude
is
long, right? So I don't know, like what else
that could be it.
I know we're getting that film, but yeah, what do you think,
bro? That's a great question, bro. That's a hell of a question because they got the money to do whatever they want. You know, that's a great question. Yo, first with him. Also, it reminds me, give a shout out to the podcast partner, Abu Naz. I guess he didn't make it today, but I just want to shout him out.
Shout out to Abu Naz.
Say what's up. Yeah, say what's up. But, the Saudis can do whatever, bro. They're buying everything. They're buying all the golfers. You know what I mean? They're, whatever they want, they can afford it. I think, it's funny because, we ain't going to talk politics or whatever, but it's funny that a lot of people always talk about Israel's influence, but Saudi Arabia's influence is a little bit big too, you know what I mean? Like in politics. So I don't know what the big surprise could be. I don't know if they have any pull with Warner Brothers or anything. I don't know. We know that UFC movie, so that wouldn't be a surprise, but I don't know. Like, you remember what was the Syrian, the guy who owns Vero, Ben Affleck's homeboy? He was like a billionaire. I can't remember his name.
I can't remember.
Amiri.
Okay.
Ayman Ariri. Yeah. I think he helped get some shit financed, and I think I know the Saudis are probably a lot richer than him. I think the Saudis are on trillion status instead of billionaire status. So I think whatever they want, man, your guess is good as mine, bro. I think they got a blank check to do anything they want, dog.
So I was told, and I put this out there as well, they already expressed interest. Now I don't know if it's Turkey Al-Sheikh's team or if they, group funding this. They've already showed interest. They've expressed interest to Warner Brothers already. So Zazev already knows that if he want to sell this in pieces, that he has buyers like already lined up. Like they, and Comcast, like I said, with them, they didn't want to take on the whole, conglomerate by itself. The Saudis, they probably want it in pieces as well too. But I'm just saying, talks. There's already been communication, y'all. Like I'm just again,
bro. That'd be so lovely, bro. That would be so lovely. So now we got to make the UFC movie cash, so they can be so happy that they just write blank checks, bro. That's what we got to do, bro. That'll be so fucking lit, dog.
Zack Snyder business is viable for them. That's what this UFC film is going to show them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That'll be so legendary. And I think I think it will be successful. I think Zack Snyder is King Midas right now. You know, he's touching gold, Rebel Moon, and everything else. Man, I think that'll be legendary. They got the money to do it, bro. Even if they got to executive produce something, they can do that. And they don't probably even have to buy it. They can probably just produce it, you know?
That's a good, like, just more like a partnership. That's a good idea too.
Right,
if they're funding, man, wouldn't that be crazy, bro? Like, again, I haven't been told this. I'm just, we're just spitballing right now. But like, what if they just be like, yo, like, we'll fund it, like, we'll put up the $300 million to make Justice League 2 and 3. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all can distribute it. Y'all get y'all cut from that. We'll produce it, and like we'll take the gate or whatever for like or we can split it. The gate, like, I mean, I'm just saying, if it's about financing something, that's what they do with UFC already. They make these fights happen, off of them partnering with Dana White and everyone. So their business is good. Their money is good. So now it's just like, okay, this big surprise. You talking about Zack Snyder? All I can do is think of DC, bro. I can't. I can't think of that.
Think about it. China does it. China does it all the time. It's the Saudi. China did it with Top Gun 3. They did it with a lot of movies, bro. Like, I think China's little carrot is their box office. Like, if you can get a big box office in China, or if you can get a big opening in China, whatever, you're gonna, it's gonna be like a great box office day. But I think that's like back end money. I think front end money can definitely be Saudi Arabia, because they're not looking for like back end box office success. They are, but they have enough money to front the thing up front. You know what I mean? So I think it's very viable to, even if they don't have to buy a studio, they can definitely executive produce it from the front, from the start.
That's what I think. Like, if they were if they were front most of the money, I think they would just be like, we'll get points on this film, like whether it's in theaters, if you sell it digitally, like there's ways where they can make sure they get that bank. And man, I'm just saying, they don't want to put it out there. It's like, hey, all we could do is kind of react. It's like, hey, it's something there. It's definitely something there.
Dog, they're buying their way into everything else, bro. Golf has gone, like they're buying their way into everything else. I don't doubt them wanting to get into Hollywood. I definitely see that as a viable. And if Zack Snyder's already frontmanning it and kind of going out there first, and nobody remember when the golfers started doing it, everybody was like, "Oh, Saudi Arabia is a violent country," and blah blah blah. But nobody's talked shit about Zack Snyder yet, So fuck it, let's go.
Let's go with it. So interesting. We got Toby here saying, I don't understand why Zaz is mad at DeLuca and Abdi. Safran produced Blue Beetle, The Flash, Shazam 2, Aquaman 2. What's wrong with these people? I mean, that's a fair assessment. How is Safran failing up? Like, how is that even an option? Like, because these stories get out there, people want this story out there, so they wanted that rumor. Oh yeah, Safran can do the job, but that's kind of wild, Peely, that he's even considered, at this point.
Yeah, no, that is a fact. That's a great comment. He's failing upwards, and there's no hype for him, so it's like he's gonna fail again. There's nobody talking, oh man, this guy is a great executive producer, or this guy is a great co-CEO or anything. I think they're gonna fail again. I think Superman is gonna be in a long list of that shit he just said. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fail again. But dog, they just fired one of their chief marketers, right, for the Disney movie guy, right? So they brought in like a Disney reject, right? They brought in somebody from Disney, right? All right.
Yeah, he had ties to like Disney stuff. Yeah.
Right. All right. I don't know, bro. I don't think they're really, really stupid, or they're doing this on purpose. They're preparing. They're burning down the house for a future sale to Disney, in my opinion. Like, you just fired the dude who did his perfect scheme with what was it? Barbie tagging along with the Oppenheimer marketing. You know, that was cool. They hit $1 billion with that, right?
Yep.
With Barbie, I think that hit $1 billion. So now Margot Robbie can kind of do anything she wants now. You know, she could. So how does that guy get fired? Unless maybe they want to blame him for all the bullshit that we really know is James Gunn's fault. You know?
Yeah, that was an odd. Cause I know a lot of people saying it could be stuff behind the scenes, possibly, but that is odd that someone successful. You know, Barbie became an international success. I mean, they had dudes, you know, going, you know, because you would think all the women will go see that film. Well, you know, some of them brought their dudes with them. It's like, oh, you know, I'll check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how you cross over when you do marketing. And so they fired him, and then they put someone, you know, now before the Disney guy. So this is the timeline I said earlier, Peely. Like you had the Barbie guy, they fired him and put someone that was just not qualified at all, and then that's when you ended up with that weird, that weird trailer where Superman in his eye. That's after they fired the Barbie guy, right? Then after this, they brought the Disney guy as a special consultant.
Oh, okay. So after after that trailer, then they brought the Disney guy.
Yeah.
All right. So then you saw the poster. They put a poster out the other day. You saw that they just showed his feet. They didn't show none of his face. You know, they didn't show anything on that shit, which was hilarious, dog. And I even saw people. Yeah, that one. They said, get away from the face immediately, bro. That's so funny, bro. Like, oh, that's your Superman poster, bro? Are you serious?
But, see, it supposedly is meant to say that they're rebooting the marketing, but they didn't go over that well either.
Oh, man, bro. Oh, man. Them boys said, get away from the face immediately, dog. Get his face. Yo, China can't talk shit about this one. There's no black people in it. There's nobody in that shit, bro. It's just 2 feet, dog. I saw somebody did a poster with his like red underwear hanging down by his feet with like pee stains in it, bro. That shit was so hilarious, dog. But yeah, this shows they see their weakness. Their weakness is Corey Sweat's face. You know what I mean? Like when they put his face out with that trailer with the googly eyes, that was so much bad press. Like that one. People got fired, and then the next poster, there's no face, there's no nothing, there's just feet. You know?
It's like we just ain't gonna show nothing, bro.
Bro, we ain't about to show nothing, bro. And then the other day they're talking about Superman barely was in the movie, so it's like his screen time low. There's feet on the poster. I don't know, bro. It's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good. Zack Snyder better just hang around and keep peeking his head in the door, bro, you know?
Hey, and like I said, it's
not looking good for Superman. All the James Gunn's fans.
And it's got to keep the Saudis close by when it's time for business. And we'll see, man. I mean, hey, it's all about results, man. That's what at the end of the day, like we have our preference and everything, but it's like this marketing has been terrible. I mean, again, that's why they got this special consultant, you know, from Disney, which I'm not going to give him too much credit either. They're saying like he was the mind behind Star Wars Force Awakens. Man, me and you could have marketed Star Wars Force Awakens. When that came out, everybody was going to go see that film no matter what.
Right.
You know what I mean? You didn't do nothing special with that. Like you just show a lightsaber. Everyone's like, oh, like, let's go. So I ain't ready to give him too much credit. I think he was on Endgame as well. Again, anyone could have sold after Infinity War. Anyone could have sold Endgame. So we'll see. We'll see what he really does with that. So as we wind down here again, we want to catch up on the latest Zack Snyder related news. You know, I had to keep people on their toes, man, because people was going crazy when Zach posted the other day. I was like, I got to stream about this, bro. Like, so let's catch up.
Bro, I've never seen nothing like it, bro. All right,
for sure, man. Yeah, let's see what they're saying here. Arab money, yeah, that's pretty much That's pretty much the consensus. They're trying to hide those trunks. That's the weird thing. Like, why he still won't do a full body post? Like, even in the trailer, you didn't see a full look. Like, even with these eyes, you still don't see the trunks here. It did. It did with the boot. You still, the real picture, you don't see the trunks there either. So it's like, bro, you think he's really high? You think he's like still working on the suit, like as far as like post? What do you think, man?
I don't know. Remember, he asked Zack Snyder what was your thoughts on the trunks, and Zack said he just couldn't figure it out, so he didn't have them. But I guess they're saying James Gunn wants to be more like comic accurate, so he had them. But they definitely hiding the trunks, bro. They're definitely hiding them. And that picture he showed where he was bending down and he was kind of holding the android or the robot or whatever, they hid the trunks completely, So it's like, I don't know. Maybe they don't. I don't know, man. They're obviously hiding them. They're obviously hiding the face. They're obviously hiding the trunks. I guess he's not secure with what he did, I guess.
I don't know, man. It is kind of looking a little fishy hiding. I mean, you already had the trailer. Just go ahead and just show Superman. Like, why?
Right.
It's like, why are we hiding, bro? So that's weird. That's weird. But let's see what we said here. The eyes are James Gunn's version of Cavill Superman, seeing the Flash running at super speed to attack him. So you said this is this is him locating the Flash. That's what they saying with the way he looks. Y'all crazy, bro. Y'all wrong for that, man. Y'all wrong for that. You can't let us down.
Oh my God, bro.
It's no way. Oh man, y'all ain't right, man.
Oh man, that's horrible. According
to Gunn, it's a special camera, and it kind of was weird placement according to him. So I don't, okay.
Well, you can tell. I mean, we'll see when the movie. Like, remember Aaliyah? Aaliyah, the singer, God bless the dead. She kind of had a cross eye for a long time, and they hid it in the industry. They just put her hair over until I guess she got surgery and fixed it. But for a long time, they hid it. So you can tell when they're hiding shit. So I guess when the movie comes out, we'll tell. I'm not watching it. I watch it on some streaming shit, but we'll see.
Like they said, they probably CGI corrected. You'd be looking straight, I guess, or I don't know. But we'll see. Right. We will see. But anyway, with that is what it is. With that, we're gonna keep an eye on whatever Zack is doing, whatever that situation with the Saudis. Some surprise. It can't just be the UFC film. I think it's definitely more to it. And as I said, like DC for sale is a viable thing for sure. So we're gonna slide on out of here. Peely, you've been getting back doing videos and stuff, right? Like I saw you drop some podcast episodes, right?
Every now and then I've done some podcasts, and then I was on Lethal Geek Show the other day, and shout out to them boys. But yeah, I'm back doing podcasts for a little while. Well, whenever I see something interesting and I want to talk about, I do a podcast. So y'all just like, if you don't know by now, go to YouTube and Mr. West Ashley 843. My podcast is called Go Deep. Basically, it's about like conspiracy stuff, Hollywood, true crime, geopolitics, shit like that, world news, shit like that. But it's a dope podcast, and I gotta get you on there. I gotta get Marcus. I gotta get the whole chat room. I want to get everybody, the whole crew, Joker, Sickness, everybody on the show. Because we talk a lot in the chat room and shit, but I want to bring some of this shit on the podcast.
For sure, man. You already know. We just get that coordinated. I'll be down for that. And And just a side note, your Bills, they signed Joey Bosa. I saw that little update. So you got another pass rusher. Yeah, I saw the Bills signed Joey Bosa. They got rid of Von
I didn't know that. Yeah.
So, we'll
when Von Miller be getting hurt a lot, and he's always like arrested for some domestic violence shit. So, he rarely plays. But Joey Bosa don't be playing that much either, like he's always hurt. Right. Oh man, I don't know if I like that one, bro. No, I don't know if I like that.
That's the latest word on that, but interesting. We go slide out of here. Let Billy catch up with his team, and again, anytime there's some worthy Zack Snyder news, we'll be back here as well. Much love to Still Nation. Stay the fandom. We out here, man.
There's no need to regulate. Free speech is always the better way. The truth will never discriminate. Free thinking has been to solve a better place. Better place where we can all conversate. I mean, converse. Don't make this shit worse. Just try to appreciate after this verse. So take us to church. Let knowledge disperse. Ideas then culminate. Turn into action. Words with reason and passion. Honestly spoken, no need for retraction. Keep on demanding your full satisfaction. We made it happen, though we collapsed and broken in fractions. All of these factions overreact and broken in fraction. If I played a part, then I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.